everyone. I know it's late in the afternoon, but welcome to another talk at Group Exhibit Hydrogen Fuel Cells and Batteries. Grab a drink, get caffeinated, because we're about to talk to the CCO of AREVA, who's going to be telling us about the new PEM electrolyser and, reinforcing the business. And please welcome Mr. Pascal Pewinski to come talk to us about AREVA. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
So, there's a little secret that most people don't know, that you've been at Messe before, but now you're here under the name of AREVA. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, exactly. We've been participating to the H2FC at the Hannover Messe since 4 years now. And we were known as CTH2. And the name of the company has changed in the way that is now called AREVA H2Gen. The background of this change is related that the company has merged with an electrolyzer division of the AREVA group. AREVA is a corporation, of course, known for nuclear power plant construction. And this division merged with former CTH2, which we were exhibiting here before. And this merge has also raised funds in a capital increase in which AREVA has stepped into as a shareholder, the French state, and the former shareholder of CTH2, who's a company called Smart Synergies.
Excellent. So, in terms of the advantages of this merger, I mean, you've talked a little bit about the funding and stuff, but also the synergies and what's common. Would you like to comment a little bit more about that?
Of course. One of the very important points to understand is that CTH2 was working for 15 years in the research area on PEM electrolysis and had launched a product line of PEM electrolyzers dedicated essentially for the industrial market, but also to serve renewable energy markets. And whereas the electrolysis division of AREVA was grounded on the basis of the needs of military applications. So it was let's say a high-level technology in terms of pressure, current density, and these kind of things. So merging both companies is bringing up, on one hand, PEM electrolysis, which is competitive into the electrolysis market, competitive towards alkaline systems, for example. And on the other hand, a higher level technology, I would say, I put it this way, up to 50 bars with higher current densities. And bringing those two technologies together enables us today to develop stacks with higher capacities from 30 to 50 normal cubic meters at also higher pressure. So to that field and to that extent, we're today developing a product line, which we had that was from 5 to 120 norms at 15 bars, and our ambition is to bring it to 240 norms, but at 35 bars.
Okay, and so you obviously have a fairly unique solution at hand.
Mm-hmm.
What is your current production capacity, and where would you like to comment on in terms of the costs that are involved and the capital investment that's involved, and where you would like to see yourself in the future in terms of capacity?
So one of the very important things to understand is that having raised funds, of course, gave a fully new breadth to the company. Today, AREVA H2Gen is an industrial company with 2,000 square meters of assembling and production capacity. We have a production capacity to build up to 35 to 40 electrolyzers a year. This industrial facility has today a 2.5 megawatt electrical connection, which enables also a lot of testing capabilities. Because, as you know, electrolyzers consume a lot of electricity. So having that capacity is also a very good asset. And that asset can also, in the future, be brought and raised up to 5 megawatt for the plant where we are. So we have moved 2 weeks ago, actually, in this new building. And it's very exciting also because we're still on the way of building our final testing capabilities. But we'll have test labs with more than 10 test benches of testing capabilities, up to 50 bars, up to 60 norms, to be able to validate new stack architectures, higher pressures, higher current densities, and so on.
So H2 for industry is the primary focus. It's the way to go.
I wouldn't say it's the primary focus. H2 for industry is today the bread and butter you should build on to make your company sustainable in a long term. Okay, so we're a company that has raised funds, that is backed under a tremendous name in the industry, very renowned, of AREVA. And hydrogen for industry, or electrolyzers for industry, is a market that is very export-oriented outside Europe. And therefore, the name of AREVA and the backup of AREVA is a very strong asset for us to win business. And winning business is also for all the PEM electrolyzer community, is showing that PEM electrolyzers are also in the field of industrial applications, competitive, reliable, because it's still a technology that has to show its track record and its performance. But it is not the major focus in the way that if there would have been only that market, we wouldn't have raised funds. Okay, so we have raised funds because AREVA also has a belief that there is going to be an upcoming market for renewable energy storage, for hydrogen economy, whether for mobility, for power to gas. And this is also being a very strong focus on which we are consolidating today.
Okay, just before I go on, I'd like people to know that this is an open public forum, so if you have any questions, please raise your hand. My next question for you is, you talked a little bit about international delivery, so you're focusing on being a global company with global deliveries. Are there any specific wins or projects overseas that you would like to highlight?
So there are some specific projects we're working on. I won't highlight directly in the industrial area today, but after changing name, getting a new plant, we've also grounded a GmbH here in Germany, because again we have very strong belief that for the renewable energy market, and there are lots of ongoing projects here in Germany on which we want to be part of. AREVA Corporation is 5,000 employees here in Germany, which is also a very important asset because it backs us up here in Germany. So we have AREVA H2Gen that is there for all the business development, but for, I would say, larger project handling, we also have the support of the resources of AREVA GmbH, which is also very good. We have also a new manager here for AREVA H2Gen GmbH, who's Mr. Carsten Krause, who made a presentation on the technical forum. And yes, so since last year, where we appeared for the last time since CTH2, we have gone through many steps within a year. And we're still looking forward and ongoing and developing our activities, and particularly more on the North American side.
So would you say that next steps for AREVA in terms of expansion are going to be looking more at North America and not so much perhaps maybe in a developing country like India or China? Well, China we can't call it developing.
Again, we're going both paths at the same time. So we're going the industrial path is one way, more in developing countries like China and India, as you mentioned. We have reinforced our sales forces, our industrial forces, research R&D forces. As a CCO, I'll talk about the sales forces. So yes, we have now a development manager also for Asia, but for Asia on the industrial market. So we try permanently to go both paths, the industrial path, because again, this is the bread and butter for the future, and the path of the emerging economy of hydrogen, and where it is more located, of course, in North America, California, as everybody knows, there are a lot of perspectives of developing hydrogen refueling stations for mobility.
Excellent. So at the moment, it's a growing company. It's in, I guess, early growth stages because it's a newly formed company. What are some of the challenges for the future that you anticipate? And in terms of market expansion, what do you think are some of the barriers to entry for AREVA?
Well, the market, the difficulties or the market perspectives are, as I said at the beginning, we have a product line. Product line fits quite well the needs of industrial applications. So on that side, we're pretty set. Furthermore, on the hydrogen energy side, we see more and more upcoming projects in multi-megawatt sizes, which requires, of course, a lot of R&D resources, also of testing resources. That's why these 2.5 megawatt connection in our plant. And but for a market which is unsure at the moment, which is not totally mature. So there are some challenges on that side to have the ability to build demonstrators in funded projects in some way, to be able to serve the needs of what would be renewable energy storage. But it is, it is still a long path to go on that side, and a lot of investment in R&D. And when you look at the difficulty of the PEM technology, and there are not so many companies at the end of the day in the world that master these kind of technologies, it's a highly expensive entry ticket. Let's put it this way.
So I know you touched a little bit at the beginning about the merger, and one part of the merger being a nuclear-based technology. There'll be a lot of skeptics in this crowd who are going, why are you here? Because, we're all about clean green. So I'd just like to offer you this opportunity to set the record straight about your hydrogen-focused company that's all about sustainability and environmental solutions.
Well, the AREVA Group in general has been pretty involved in sustainability and renewable, or let's say CO2-free solutions in power generation. Of course, it is renowned as a major nuclear actor, but its commitment to find solutions, renewable solutions, whether if it's on the electrical generation or on the energy storage side, AREVA is still very active with various types of solutions. We could speak about liquid organic storage of hydrogen, for example, or heat storage solutions, or redox flow battery solutions. So there are very many various technologies and very various technology bricks that are developed within the corporation here in Germany, in France, and elsewhere also. So it's AREVA stays a high technology and a very demanding industry, and yes, so therefore their engagement is pretty strong actually in the hydrogen technologies. That is for sure. And again, they are focused and worried about developing a sustainable business. Okay, this is a very important notion also we are very attached to, is that of course we're happy to contribute to sustainable development, to sustainable and renewable energies, but also in a business model or in a company development that is sustainable.
Excellent. So before I ask for final thoughts, I'd just like to open up for questions, and if I don't see any, I guess my final question for you is, if there were no barriers to entry, and considering AREVA is a up-and-coming growth stage company at the moment, what do the next 5 years look like for you, and what does growth mean for you? What would you like to achieve?
Well, sales and revenues, as everybody can wish. I mean, we of course are hopeful that the solutions which are publicly financed today through consortiums, through European organizations or national organizations, will contribute to show business cases, to show technologies, and to make out of these shows and demonstrations a market. Okay. Germany has, of course, great ambitions to that extent in the way that the development of renewable energies is going to be very important, and there through storage solutions is going to be an issue in the future more and more, and hydrogen is one of these solutions. And when you talk about storage and hydrogen, then you systematically talk about water electrolyzers. Okay, so that's where we come into the picture. We believe that our position in Europe is pretty unique also in the way that merging these two companies, as I said, is an asset of 25 years of experience of R&D in PEM electrolysis, and I think we're the only ones in Europe at least. So the next step is bringing the market to maturity and working out projects, developing also our offer, because as I said, we AREVA H2Gen are an equipment manufacturer, so we build machines, okay? But we also have the support of the group to be able to build up larger projects with various bricks, various solutions. I was talking about this liquid organic solution also, which is pretty interesting and very promising. It's at a different stage of as the electrolysis in the way that it is just out of the laboratory. Okay, it's not for the moment an economical or a business product, but there are again here various bricks, different synergies, and we look forward to expand our network to address industrial business and to reinforce our subsidiaries we are creating and building at the moment to serve the market for hydrogen energy and particularly mobility.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Pewinski. We're unfortunately out of time, but I wish AREVA all the best of luck, and we look forward to keeping up with your progress, and hopefully we'll get to chat with you next year and see how far the company's gotten. Thank you so much for chatting with us.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
And thank you all for participating. And it's not over yet. There's one more chat coming up. So caffeine up. And next chat is the latest trends in fuel cell and battery testing. So stay tuned.